From Music City, USA, it's Around Nashville. For the next 30 minutes, we'll be making the rounds, seeing the sights, hearing the sounds of the country music capital of the USA, Nashville, Tennessee. Come on along as we wrap around Nashville.
Hello again, everybody.
Former DJ and Elvis buddy Jerry Osborne may know more about collectible country record albums than any man on earth. His country music buyers, sellers reference book and price guide is the first ever comprehensive listing of historical country LPs. The newly released book lists more than 15,000 record albums, a guide to their approximate value, and the dates they were released. The book also contains artist biographies and a substantial number of rare photos, like this one of Dolly Parton, and an incredible snapshot of Marty Robbins with a teenaged Wayne Newton on the left.
We bring more people into the hobby through these guides than any other door of entry into the hobby. What will happen is they'll be in a bookstore, and maybe they didn't even go in planning to buy a book, but they will see the book and they'll find it fascinating. Or maybe initially they'll be attracted to the photos, or maybe the biographies, or some little thing they'll find interesting, and they'll buy the book and take it home, and then they start going through their own collection. Invariably, this is the first thing they do because they want to find out if they have anything that's worth $300 or $400 or $500 in their collection.
Of course, many old country records aren't worth anything to the collector, but others can bring big bucks.
There are two in this edition that are pretty solid $500 records, and one of them is by Marty Robbins. It's an LP that came out in 1956 titled Rockin' Rollin' Robbins. And it was a 10-inch LP, by the way, which, of course, a 10-inch LP is like a dinosaur in the record industry now. And also one by Jim Reeves, which was his first album on the Abbott label before he signed with RCA. And that's also one that can bring $500. But let me clarify those values by saying that those prices are for ones that are in like-new condition. One that has been stepped on by an elephant will not bring those prices.
Osborne brought some rare and some not-so-rare records along with him, and we talked about what makes a record valuable.
This is an album that came out in 1966, and it was a reissue of some recordings that Mel Tillis had made back in the late 50s for Columbia. Now, Mel Tillis was not known to anyone except Nashville singers at that time, because as a songwriter, he was already gaining a very good reputation. But as a singer, he had done some rock and roll and some music that just doesn't sound anything at all like the Mel Tillis that we're all used to hearing. And one of the songs that comes to mind is Hearts of Stone.
In top condition, this record would bring around $8. This chewed-up version is worth about $1.
It wouldn't surprise me to find that the family dog had gotten a hold of this. And it's a shame, too, because it's a very rare album from Webb Pierce. Came out in 1959. In fact, all of the Decca LPs with country music from the 50s are rare. They were a very prolific label.
When I was a lad, an old chef was a pub.
This is the second album that Elvis did, and it was his second for RCA. He never did record an album for Sun Records for reasons we've never really understood since he recorded enough songs. But on this second LP, one of the more popular tracks was a tune titled Old Shep, a song that Red Foley had made popular a few years before.
An alternate take of Old Shep, different from this version, made it onto only a handful of records. Just 6 are known to exist today. But even without the rare take of Old Shep, this record is still worth $100. A copy with the rare alternate version could easily bring $1,000. Osborne is a specialist in Elvis's collectible records and has one of the finest Elvis collections in the world. His new book now establishes him as a country expert as well, and the guide will undoubtedly become the Bible of country record collectors.